Assalamualaikum and good afternoon everyone.
Afternoon, madam.
Salam doktor.
Okey, nampaknya belum lagi penuh lagi kelas kita. 43, tolak saya 241. Okey, supposedly kita ada 53 orang kan? Ada kawan yang tak attend lagi. Right, for today, okay, we will do revisions for your test, which will be held this Thursday. Okay. I think some of you might get some information from your friends from other group. Okay, please. Okay, please. Please, okay, follow our group. Okay, our group. Okay, our group. Okay. Yes, the test will be simultaneously with others group. Okay, so it will be on Thursday, 8 p.m. until 9:30. 1 hour and half. Okay. Okay, saya ulang Kita punya test ialah pada hari Khamis ni. Okay. Serentak dengan grup-grup lain. Okay, pada pukul 8 malam sehingga 9:30 malam. Okay, ada sebarang masalah tak?
Face to face ke doktor?
Ya, yeah, face to face, physically. Sempat, sekejap saya tengok. Dewan seminar kalau tak silap. Dewan seminar 2A dan 2B. Okay. So maksudnya kita ada dua grup dekat sini. Okay. Kita decide lah. Okay, senang kita pecah. Okay, kita ada grup M3CS2534B and another one group M3CS2534 dua-dua B pula. Okay, another one M3CS2304A. Senang group A dengan group B lah kan. Okay, group A dekat bilik seminar 2A lah. Okay, and group B Dewan Seminar 2B. Alright. Okay, nanti saya remind lagi dalam group. Okay, untuk group A Dewan Seminar 2A dan untuk group B Dewan Seminar 2B. Okay, so actually I'm still getting confirmations. Wait Okay. Actually it's open book test. Okay, you can bring a book, notes, as long as hard copy books lah. If you have notes, you can print out, okay, and make it as your book, but you cannot bring laptop and handphone. Okay, so all your handphone, okay, need to pass to me before we start our test. Okay, laptop tak payah bawa lah. Okay, nanti nak kena bagi saya pula kan, ataupun tak payah off kan, tak payah on. Okay. Ada soalan? Nanti saya letak balik reminder untuk kita punya test Khamis ni. Hari bulan Khamis ni? 1 hari bulan kan? 1 hari bulan Disember. Okay, so pukul 8 hingga 9:30 malam. 1 jam setengah. Okay, group A dekat Dewan Seminar 2A, group B Dewan Seminar 2B. Okay, saya dah bagi tahu kan subjek apa yang masuk, topik apa yang masuk. Okay. Only 2 chapter, right? The software process and requirement RE, requirement engineering. Only 2 topic. Okay. So the first topic is just introductions of software engineering. Okay. So that one no need. Okay. Just focus on the software process and also chapter 3 requirement engineering. 2 chapter. Okay. And the questions also we'll have 2 questions only. Okay, question number 1, 15 marks. A until F. Dia adalah anak dia A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay, so soalan tu dia berantai. Okay, and question 2, 35 marks. A, B, C. So the 3 questions lah A, B, C. Okay, so again, topic will be covered process, software process, and also requirement engineering. Okay. Remember also your requirement engineering will include use case diagram. That's why in our lab sessions I did mentions lah and give you a practical doing a use case diagram. Masih ingat tak? Okay, ada soalan lain? So hari ni kita akan buat revision. Revision for the test, which is chapter 2 and 3. Okay, chapter 1 tu tak perlulah saya nak revise. This is just intro for you to understand what is software engineering, right? So we directly goes into software. Okay, because software engineering is focusing on the process of the development of the software. So software process and also requirement engineering. Right? Boleh? Ada soalan lain sebelum kita masuk revision? So again, it's an open book test. Okay, you can bring your notes or your lecture notes also can bring, but you need to print out. Actually, I did ask them since it's open test, okay, can the students bring the soft copy? But they said no laptop and mobile phone. But you can bring books or lecture note, you need to print out lah. Okay? Boleh? Ada soalan lain lagi?
Use case diagram je, Doktor. Use case description tak ada.
Sekalilah tu. Sekalilah. Tajuk UML kan? Yang kita belajar masa lab tu. Saya tak katalah ada semua kan. Maksudnya di bahagian bab tu. Kan kita belajar sekali use case diagram, use case description sekali kan tu. Okay, ada tak ada tu belakang kira lah kan. Tapi dia sekali lah under UML. Cuma tak masuk activity diagram kan. UML actually they include use case diagram, okay, and then followed by use case descriptions. But inside the use case description, kita boleh keluarkan the flow tu kan. The flow we change to activity diagram. So you tahulah maksudnya ada ke tidak ada use case description tu. Okay. Sebab activity diagram kita tak masuk lagi. So tak ada dalam activity diagram. Okay, ada 2 je soalan. Okay, tapi dia ada anak-anak dia. Question number 1 ada A sampai F. Question number 2 ada A sampai C. Okay. Ada lagi soalan lain? Tak ada? Okay, kalau tak ada soalan lain, kita buat revision sikit. Okay. Okay, actually the revision is from the lecture note. Okay, saya just refresh again. What spa? Oh, okay. I think before this, let me review with you guys the reflection. Thank you those fill in and submit your reflection, okay, so that I know ni lah what you like and what you don't like about the class kan. Okay, wait, let me review the reflection first, huh? Sudah tertutup tak? Sekejap, saya buka balik. Reflection. Okay, I received 48 response, right, from the 53 of the class. Okay, let me share the finding here. The 48 response. Okay, so the first question, are you satisfied with the assessment? Okay, everyone agreed? Yes, right? So if no, please suggest or comment. So should be no lah kan, because everyone say yes. So if no, only you need to put suggestion or comment. But there is two comment here. First, nothing. Second, I don't know why this class is fun, but hard to understand the concept or content, and I don't know what to do either. Okay. Okay. I know because of the content, like I said, that it's repetition, right? Okay, but just follow the summary that I told you, which part is important. Like I said that for the software process, okay, focus on the process, okay, the process, because the title of software process. So you need to focus the process. We have 3 generic process, right? So you should you should be able to describe the 3 generic process model, okay, and you also know the advantage and disadvantage for each software process model, okay. And then for requirement engineering, okay, we have 2 types of functional requirement and also non-functional requirement, or not only 2 types, we have 3 role, right? The business role. Later on we will review. So just follow the summary, okay, what I highlight the most important part, not only for the test, okay, also for your project and also for your use for your future FYP or your works lah later on. Okay, that's why I try to make it more easy for you to understand. Okay, by summarize it. Okay, summarize it, and then we do lab based on what should we highlight on. Are you satisfied with the content of the course? Okay, good. Okay, everyone say yes. Okay, what do you like best about this course? Okay, the mini quiz after the theories. Oh, thank you. Okay, that's good. Okay, thank you. Okay, so I know that you like the quiz because of your lecturer. Okay, this is also make me smile. Thank you. Okay, for the compliment. I know deeply how to design the programming. Right, good. Knowledge, no coding. Right. Yes, we learn about the process, okay, because the topic here is introductions of software engineering, theories and principle, right? So theory and principle, no coding. What I like about this course is that to implement a good software development, it's need a well-organized process or phases that we need to do before deploy it, which is interesting, but a challenge for me to understand in a short time duration for this semester. You are in undergrad students, okay? You don't have to remember everything, but it's good for you to understand, okay? Understand the concept, because the aim of this course is you understand the theory and principles. The principle means the method, the approach, okay? Exploring how to develop a system with the teammates, right? There is not a lot of difficult term to remember. Okay, there you know. It's actually do not to remember, just to understand and know how to apply it. Okay, no mathematical calculation requirement. Okay, the content of the course. All right, chill lecturer. All right, thank you. Can design my own website. Okay, that's good. You know how to apply it. It increased my knowledge about the truth of software engineering. Okay, good. You also understand that this is all about our course. Okay, if no, please suggest any content you would like to learn. Okay, I don't know exactly, nothing. I don't know how to strengthen problem solving skills. Okay, how to strengthen problem solving skills. Okay, of course, this is, we will go through the whole course where you will apply in your project, right? So apply in your projects is your problem solving skills. So this is a soft skill that you will learn in the whole semester lah, okay, of the courses. Okay, no, maybe the course can become more easy to understand if the topic is nice to learn and interesting. Okay, because the question just now, do you like the content, right? So it should be reflect the answer lah kan, nice and interesting, right? We try to make every content nice and interesting. Okay, so next questions, what would you like to change about the course? Nothing. Okay, I have no right to change, I'm still studying. Okay, you know you're right. Okay, nothing so far. For now, none. The slide maybe, because the slide is confusing, and at some point I'm questioning myself, what is this slide trying to explain? Is the slide or me the one having problem? Am I too old to study? Does my brain cannot accept anything anymore? Okay, like I said that every course have their own reference, and like I said that UITM are using standardized, which is through resource person. So the slide that given by the resource person, okay, is the one that we need to use it and follow. Okay, but like I said, I try to make a summary to make you more understand. Okay, so I couldn't change the slide. Okay, what I can say that this is the rule from UITM, where we need to follow whatever given by the resource person. Okay, me as a lecturer try to elaborate, explain, and summarize. Hopefully it help for those still confusing with the content. Like I said that I also confused with some of the content because it looks repeated, right? But don't worry, just focus on what I will highlight. Okay. Sometimes each resource person or lecturer refer to different content. Okay, for me, I'm teaching my software engineering with different textbook. We know the textbooks is right by different person. Okay, so the elaborations, the example given, the explanations different. Okay, from one textbook to one textbook. So again, we want to make standardized for all the student, so it's on the resource person lah. Okay, hopefully you understand. Okay, nothing at the moment. Okay, nothing. I don't know what to change. I think this course like, what is ENT? Anyone? I think this course like ENT. What is ENT? Enterprise?
Entrepreneurship.
Oh, entrepreneurship. Oh, okay. Not really about the entrepreneurship, just because there is a topic that you have the entrepreneurship, right? Social entrepreneurship, because we want to expose our students to become entrepreneur, where you are the job creator, not job seeker. Okay, so This course is giving you opportunity to learn the process of developing your own software project, which might your own project. So not exactly entrepreneurship, because entrepreneurship have a different content. I teach entrepreneurship, so I know it's totally different. Okay, so entrepreneurship is giving you the from the idea until how to make it realize lah. And sometimes we pursue to the startup company, but this is on the process. It's up to you. You want to apply to any project, and also you can apply for your startup. Who knows, right? So, but not the content is not totally about the entrepreneurship. Okay, so it's on software engineering. No, maybe the theory part is little bit too boring and hard to understand. Normal. Theory boring kan? Okay, that's why we try to make it more fun. Okay, we learn two way. Okay, not only me is giving lecture to you, right? So you also sharing your understanding to your friends, right? So and then I just make a summary instead of I repeat again and again, right? The course is just fine, nothing less theory piece. Because our topic is theory and principle. So how come we want to make it less theory? But we try to I try to give you example to the real. That's why sometimes I explain to you based on my experience, based on the real life experience. Okay, but it's not 100% theory. So because anything you need to understand the theory first, okay, and then you can apply it. The important part, understand and then can apply. You don't have to remember. Okay. For now, I cannot think of anything to change. Okay, everything fine. More activities. Okay, more activities. Okay. Because if you see the content or the SOW, kan, there's a lot, and the lecture note given and also the lab is different topic. I also confused with the two different things, right? So to add more activities, okay, I try to add on the quiz, right? To make it more fun in the class rather than focusing on the lecture note, right? So not only we and me, okay, you also will help me to make it more interactive classes rather than just one way learning, right? So nanti boring juga kan? So sometimes lah, okay. Tapi tak boleh lah banyak sangat activity because we have a lot to cover. Because I also afraid that we couldn't, because sometimes if you know that our topic 3, which is RE, have 3 different lecture notes. I don't know why it's happened like that, okay? But there's a lot to cover, but it's a repetition actually, okay? General comments, I don't have one, nothing. Sometimes the English used in slide and question and lecture are hard to understand. Oh, okay. Okay, my English is just kampung-kampung English, okay? I thought that you can understand, okay? Because I don't have a slang, because I just use English kampung-kampung kan. Hope you understand, okay? But I don't know, maybe the one who wrote this one dah biasa dengan slang English di television kan. Okay, so if you don't understand, please let me know, okay? So I will explain better lah if you think that my explanations is couldn't understand by you, okay? Like I said that you can ask me in a group WhatsApp, right? And also in the class, okay? I can follow up the lecture by giving. Okay, that's good. Thank you. Specific comment. I don't have one. Nothing. Overall, doctor is very helpful. Okay, even though students ask the same things, for example, the assessment given and doctor still answer it. Yes. I always ask you if you have any questions, please ask in the WhatsApp group. Please don't PM me because sometimes I will miss your message. That's why it's good for you to ask any questions in your WhatsApp group. Okay, not big WhatsApp group, but your WhatsApp group. That's why I create a group WhatsApp for you to have a group study and also the group study with me. So if you have any questions, you can directly ask me rather than you need to see me, right? Don't PM me because I might miss your questions, and it's good for the others who might have a similar questions to get the informations also. Okay. I think the online class on Thursday, right? This is Thursday. Wait, our lecture is Tuesday ke Thursday ni? Tuesday, okay, yeah, Tuesday. I think the online class Tuesday may be a little bit boring for me because I cannot focus on the lecture. Okay, alright, boring okay. Lecture, nama pun lecture kan, okay. So try to focus. Okay, my advice, how to avoid boring. Okay, actually it's depend on you. Okay, how you make it boring or not boring, right? So if you focus, you read first, you go through the content first. If you feel some of the content or some of the explanation is a little hard for you to understand, you can ask in the class. That's make you more focused because you already learn first, right? You already know, okay? And it's good if you didn't understand, you Google, you explore, then you have more informations about it. So it's up to you to make the class boring or not, okay? But I hope my recommendations lah, read through first, go through first. If you have some topic that you couldn't understand or some term that you couldn't understand, explore it. Believe me, interesting. You can see more example, more understanding. If you get confused, you can ask in the class. If you feel shy to ask in the class, you can ask in the WhatsApp group. Kan? So it's up to you to make it boring or make it fun. Okay? But I cannot force you to please focus on me. Okay, right? So it's you because I couldn't see you. You only see me. Okay? That's why I open camera so that you can focus on me. Okay? Look at my background maybe. Actually, what I did in my class, okay, I have a different hat. Okay, different hat, you know. I have a different hat, okay, but today I didn't wear it because I just back from UITM. Okay, I have more than 100 hats. So every class, I wear different hat. Okay, so I hope that the students can see me, okay, and focus on me. Tak kenal maka tak cinta kan? Itulah fokuslah dengan saya. So kalau want to make contact with me, you also turn on camera so that I can see you that you are focused on me as well. Okay? Siapa yang buat soalan ni? Siapa yang buat komen ni? On lah kamera so that saya pun boleh tengok you fokus ke tidak. Betul tak? Baru saya tahu macam mana nak buat you fokus ke tidak. Okay? Contohlah, Amirul tak fokus kan? So saya tahulah ni Amirul yang tulis. Contoh. Okay? Amirul, look at me. So are you okay? Kalau dalam kelas, saya boleh awake you kan, saya nampak you nak sleepy kan, but online I couldn't do much, right? Okay, so it's on you. Okay, so I leave it this problem to you. Okay, what I can do is just suggest a few recommendation, right? So do you understand practice according to the subject tab? Okay, yes, maybe half, yes, I understand most of it, but still need some practice and revision to understand more. Some understand, some they're not. Half understand, yes, of course, so far a little bit confused, but it's all right. Yes, some of time. That's good, okay? That's enough for me. As long as you have half and more than half, which is much more better, but as long as you know, most of the answer is yes and half, right? So it's good enough, all right? Okay, keep up the good work, okay, until the end of the semester lah. Okay. What are difficulties possible faced by you currently in understanding or practicing the subject? Okay, not fully understand the term used in the theory learning, online learning, the meaning of certain sentence. That's why what I'm suggest to you, if you couldn't understand some word, okay, because sometimes they are using a different word, okay, and that's why I'm recommend your topic presentations by your friends. Give example, okay, because for me, if you are relying on me only, I might don't have a resource and I have no time to explain more detail on the example. That's why I give you opportunity to share with everyone. Read it first and then find more informations on the internet and share with your friends. That makes more interesting. Okay, so online learning. Okay, yes, I believe some of you have difficulties in online learning, but it's not only just listen on the class. You need to go through your lecture note. It's good to go through your lecture note first before the class, and then in the class you refresh back. Oh, this is what I read before. So if you couldn't understand, you might ask the questions. But like I said, it's very interesting. If you read, you couldn't understand, you find out in the internet, you get the example, you have better understanding, and in the class, it's refresh the term, the content that you already learned before. Believe me, okay? The meaning of certain sentence, okay, let receiver, don't worry, you can go through the recording, because actually, okay, it takes times, it takes effort for me to download and upload the content. But when I check in the YouTube, not more than 5, sometimes not more than 10 who view the content, which is make me sad. And when I see your comments, you couldn't get, let receiver, something like this. But actually you have the alternative to watch the recording repeatedly, right? So please make use of the content that already given to you. Okay, had to read more than usual since it's full of theory. Not more. If you interested, you like to explore it. Okay, because you taking this subject, and this is a part of your computer science subject, right? So you should understand, not to remember it, but understand it. Okay, that's the important, understand and apply. Okay, of course, when you work later on, doesn't matter, you understand the full meaning of the theory, but you know some of the words that this is what I learned before. So of course we human might forget, right? So you can refresh back, yeah, this is the definition of this term. Okay, but I know that I learned before. Okay, rather than you don't know nothing, right? Not too familiar with the software term and language. Again, this is your major, right? Computer science program. You should be able to try to learn it, okay, and understand it. Lack of interactive learning. Like I said that I can force you to on your camera, but I don't want to, because I know that it's taking your data, right? To make it interactive, I put some quiz, but I don't want to put more activities because I'm afraid that it will drag the time. So I try to make it, because this is online class, I don't want to drag the time, okay, and we couldn't cover the topic. That's my aim lah. Okay, sometimes I'm not sure that in this comment or in other courses comment, they said that long lecture hour, 2 hour, want to stop. Okay, actually when we do topic presentations, I give you a break, for doing a quiz, and also for doing the level of understanding. Actually it's a break, okay? But I couldn't make it more break because I tried to finish early, so that we will not having a class 2 hours direct. I tried to make it more simple. You know, if you have more breaks, you will drag more times. That's I don't want to do. Okay, probably the fact that there's a lot of things that sound similar, but they're actually further. Yes. It's actually repetitions and just a further explanations. Difficult to clearly understand some of the part. Yes, you need to go through and, like I said, don't remember it. Understand it's much more better. theories but no hands-on experience. Actually you haven't hands-on it because we haven't started the project, right? So that's why we learn the theory first. Okay, understand the theory first, and then we apply in your project later on. Okay. Well, I think the difficulty is how to manage time because of other 7 subjects. Yes, you have. I believe that everyone have 5, 6, 7 subject. Okay, you need to manage your time when you need to learn the certain subject. You need also to make sure that you have a due. Okay, sometimes I don't understand some term. Yes, you need to learn. That's why you need to explore it. Okay. For me, big problem is no internet in college unless we go to Medan to noisy. Okay, this is the environment, right? So actually, I also find out this is the issues of UiTM Jasin. You have internet issues. Like me also, I need to go back to my home. Okay, drive from UiTM to my home because I want to have a smooth internet, so that and also I actually I on two devices because I want to check that I have no internet issues. You listen and you listen my voice so that I also listen mine. So I know that there is no interruptions in my lecture. Okay. I missed class due to sickness, so I need to catch up. Yes, you need to check your recording. Maybe because it's all theory, I need to read. Because we just learn from week 1 to week 6, right? So, of course, theory first. So, you will apply it in your project later on, yes? Okay, term of word, online learnings like are quite complicated, not enough practice. And I skip because I already respond in not enough practice. Okay, nothing. I need time to understand, difficult to understand. I'm not very good in theory. You need to remember. You don't have to remember. Like I said, that you understand and later on you know what to apply it. Okay, remember our test also is open book test. Okay, you don't have to remember. Okay, not easy to remember, too much reading required, is complex. Maybe the use case. Use case you need to practice lah. Okay, you need to practice. Difficult of trying to remember some part, hard to understand. For the use case, you know the each of the elements, okay, how it's operate, okay, and then you know lah how to draw the use case diagram. Hard to understand, too many theories, challenging, too much word, maybe I can imagine. Okay, all the repeat content that I already elaborate, I will not respond again lah. It's too many facts, I have to understand it. Okay, some video presentation are lack of detailed explanation. Okay, that's why. Okay, that's why I will give credit those group who give a good video presentations. Like I said, don't only focusing on the lecture note given by me. Put it more interesting part where you get the other information from the internet, but make sure don't from the Wikipedia, the sources that are known. Okay. And you can put image, video to make your friends more understanding. That's why I give you 15 minutes, okay, to not only focusing the lecture note. You can add on some of the part that the objective is to make your friends understand. Okay, put more example lah is the best one. What are the feedback? Okay, maybe some interactive game or quiz might help, and other like I said, I don't want to put more activities, right? Quiz already given every lecture, right? So in lab we focus on the hands-on. Okay, so normally I will give quiz for each topic, and sometimes I give quiz for the exam. Okay, but your exam don't have MCQ questions. That's why I didn't use it as a quiz. Okay, I use as a revision only. Okay, and then the revision is based on the previous questions lah, because it's similar with what you will do next, right? Maybe use a little Malay and okay, because sometimes okay, sorry to say that I don't know why UiTM are giving a rule that lecturer must give a lecture in English. Okay, So and it will be a part of your evaluation later on. Okay, it's okay for me to mix some Malay and also English, right? But to give a lecture, I mean the content of the lecture in English and also the explanation. But okay, you can ask me in the class that you couldn't understand certain part, so I will help you to explain in Malay, kan? Or in WhatsApp group. Okay, bagi tahu saya dekat bahagian mana yang saya kena explain dalam bahasa Melayu. Because for the lecture, okay, you will see, you will understand why I'm giving you in English. Okay, because it was stated in the rule and also in your evaluation later on. Is the lecturer is giving your lecture in English. That's why. That's why I'm giving you in English. Okay. But like I said that you can ask me if you couldn't understand, so I can elaborate in Malay lah. Okay. Nothing, I don't know, less theory, maybe give more example. Example, that's why actually I'm rely on those topic presentations. I giving you a chance to explore more, okay? Because rely on me only, I might miss out some of the example because I'm sharing you based on my experience. So my experience is the one that I give example lah. Maybe madam can break the lecture. This one betul lah dalam ni. Dia minta saya break kan, too boring, lots of informations in 2 hours. Because actually I try to not until 2 hours giving you lecture. That's why saya cakap je kan, tapi saya akan bagi break masa topic presentation. You realize tak? 15 minutes topic presentations, and then I give you a break for doing a quiz and also level understanding, and then I continue summary. Okay, but sometimes my summary will be dragged on because that's happened lah when your friends did not present or give a topic presentations well. So I need to give more elaborations, right? Kalau group tu bagi group explanations, I don't have to repeat. Then we can finish early. Actually, I don't want to finish the online class 2 hours, kan? Some of you, I know, you might lost focus after the. I think in research, they mentioned that a few minutes you can only focus and then you will disappear, right? That's why I try to finish early. Okay, bukan saya nak habiskan 2 hours ni. That's why saya try untuk tak banyak break, okay, supaya saya boleh habis awal. That's my reason lah. Hope you understand. Alright. Okay, ada soalan tambahan lagi tak selain daripada reflect ni? Kalau tak ada, saya akan masuk kepada revision. Okay, so don't worry because the revision is actually from your lecture note. Okay, from your lecture note. Wait, let me share again. Just I refresh again, okay, to make sure. Sometimes I put a highlight, so make sure when I put a highlight, and this is the tips for you. So please focus on what I will explain to you, okay. That the revision, okay, I know that the revision is not focusing on the test 100%, but of course for you to understand, okay, and later on we will do your project kan, okay, but that's the important lah to do a revisions for your test, okay. Test and also you can have a better understanding. Refresh again. Okay. Okay, boleh nampakkan screen saya. Okay. So actually it's similar with what you already. Okay, thank you for the response. Okay. Alright, okay, thank you. So actually the content is what you already have. Okay. Some of you message me telling me which one to read. Boleh tak off mic sekejap, siapa yang ter-on? Okay, right. Okay. Mana dah saya punya PDF dah. Okay. Boleh nampak ke? Hilang dah Sekejap saya share lagi sekali. Sebab PDF ni bila saya make it full screen, I couldn't see the Webex. So that when I click the Webex again, the content pula disappear kan. Okay. So again, I don't have to give this revision to you because you already have. Okay, some of you might message me which one to read because we have a lot of notes. So I did tell you that it's topic 2 and 3. Topic 2 is the software process, okay, and topic 3 is requirement engineering. But in requirement engineering, you have 3 lecture note, right? So all the 3 is the RE lah, from the understanding until the RE1 and RE2, okay? And add-on is the lecture note for the use case, okay? Because like I said, the use case also included. That's why we have exercise doing the use case diagram in the lab session, kan? Okay. Okay. So guys, let's go back to our revision software process. Okay. Okay. So in software process is to show you, to explain to you how we develop a software, a system. Yeah, a system is a software lah, intangible product. Okay, using a model. Okay, we don't create something without any guideline, right? Anything that we created must be followed by some guideline. So in software process, we have a model to follow. Okay, so we have 3 generic process model, and all these 3 you need to know what is it and the advantage and disadvantage for each. That's why we have a tutorial where you need to come up with the paper and justify why you choose the model. Okay, and it will use for your project and also for you to understand better each model. Okay. So generally there is a guideline, or we call it outline in the process of each model, and it start from the requirement engineering, and then you develop it, software development. After develop, we need to test first, and then evolutions mean that maintenance, it can be changed, it can be upgrade, okay, or it can be improved, and so on. Okay. All right. Okay, so you see something different in my slide. Okay, I put something in my slide. I hope you know what is it. All right. Okay, so if you see that symbol, make sure you focus it. All right. So why we need software process? Because of if we don't have a guideline, it may have a problem where we don't have the specifications. You develop something without any guideline, so without no specification, right? And no design. Okay, no specification, no design. Okay, because in process we know that requirement engineering and also development is a part of these 2, specification and design. And totally unsatisfactory, need life circle model. This is the issues why we need to build and fix. Okay, you know, fix, redevelop, re-upgrade is all taking a lot of cost. Okay, and also time. So this is the important part of process model. Okay, so let's talk about the general activity in software process. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In general, we have 6. Okay, analysis, which is to identify the specification. Design and development is the design and implementation. And then we need to testing to verify and validate our software or our project. And deploy and maintenance is evolution process. Okay, so this is the 6 general process for activities in developing a software system. Okay, I don't want to make a confuse with you with others SDLC method, but in general, you can see it's same thing. Analyze, design, develop, testing, deploy, maintenance. All right? Okay. So in SDLC phases, we have a lot of phases, models, approach. Okay. So in general, specifications mean is to explicit a set of requirement of a material, design, product, or service. Okay, in terms of user requirement, product requirement, right? Hardware, software, and so on. Design, the creation of plan, idea, model, or convention for the construction of system where you have low fidelity and show the high fidelity of your design. And sometimes we have a storyboard to sketch it first before you can start your implementations of the development. That's why we have the next phase here is implementations, the execution of plan, idea, model, or convention of a system. Next, verifications. Okay, after we develop, we need to verify that our product is fulfill the needs of users' need or customer needs, right? So to verify and validate it is verify the act of reviewing and inspecting in order to establish and document that a product, service, or system meet the regulatory or technical standard. For validations is to check that software system meets specification and fulfill its intent purpose. Normally, verification is review the requirement lah, your customer or user requirement. But validation is more on standard. Sometimes we call it ISO standard, IEEE standard, right? Okay. And lastly is the evolution. Okay, and lastly, evolutions is deploy and maintenance of the product. Okay, so if you can see the row here is divided into the general phases. Okay, specifications and then design and implementation is the design and development just now. Verification and validation is the testing. Okay, and then evolution. Okay, evolution is kind of deploy, maintenance, okay? Anything about the evolutions, upgrading, and so on. So again, what is defined by software process model? Okay, a simple representations of a software process present from a specific perspective. So that's why there is a lot of model, approach, guideline. So all that are simplified representations of software process. Meaning software process lah. Okay, software process present based on specific perspective. Which one is better is depend on your project, right? So that's why it's saying here specific perspective. It can be perspective of industry, perspective of a user's need. So that's why it's have a lot. In here, we learn three generic perspective. Okay. So example of process perspective, workflow perspective, where it's mentioned about the sequence of the activities, data flow perspective, information flow, role action perspective, who does what. Okay, so perspective here, in terms of the three generate that we learn in this topic, okay, we elaborate on the workflow, data flow, and also role for action. Okay. All right, let's go through the three generic software process that mentioned in this course. Okay, first one, we have the waterfall model, or we call it in plan base. Okay, so separate and distinct phases of specification and development. Okay, the word waterfall, defined by the word, you can say waterfall is in one flow. Okay, next, evolutionary, which in other words we call it iteration, evolution. You know, evolution, it can evolve, expand. what else? Upgrade. So it have the iteration process. Okay. So the system is assembled from existing component. Lastly, specification, development, and validation are interleaved, meaning that after you justify the specifications, you need to go to development. But when you do development, you need to go back to the specifications maybe. Or else, after you already in the validation process, there is some problems, some issues that you need to go back to the development or maybe the first specification phases. Last one, we have integration and configuration, or in short, we call CBSE. Okay, so the system is assembled from existing component. This is quite not so famous, but developing in trend lah, in trend. Okay, the existing component we just adapt or adopt, we just expand it. Okay, so there are many variants of this model formal development where a waterfall-like process is used, but the specification is a formal specific. So all these three actually have more details of the example of the specific generic software process model. Okay, let's go through one by one. So, but make sure every models, waterfall, evolutionary, and CBSE, you know what is it and what is the advantage and disadvantage. I put highlight here. Make sure you know what is the advantage and what is the disadvantage. If there is no in the not listed in the lecture note, please find out after this. All right. So let's go through one by one. Okay, in waterfall, okay, we have waterfall model, rapid prototype model, and V model. And for evolutionary, we have incremental model, extreme programming, rational unified process, and also spiral model. And for integration and configurations, we don't have the example. That's the name of CBSE. And other than this, like I said, that this is the three generic process model that we need to focus in this course. But other than this, actually, we have a lot more model, approach, a guideline. Okay, but again, focus on these three first for this topic. All right, for this course lah. Okay, so let's go through one by one. But actually, I don't want to go through. My highlight is make sure you understand each of these model, okay, and understand the phases, and you can describe the advantage and disadvantage for each model. Okay, of course, not for test. Of course, also for your project. You know why you choose the model for your projects, right? So I will not go further on this. Okay, we have half an hour more. So please go through and make sure understand what is the meaning of each of the process model, what is the phases inside it, and what is advantage and disadvantage. Because I don't want to put highlight which one is the best, which one is not. This is for you to analyze it, which one is better. All right? Okay, so you can go through it. Okay, you can read it. Okay, we have a different type of waterfall, evolution, and lastly, we have the integration and configuration development. Okay, based on systematic reuse where systems are integrated from existing component. Okay, or we call it commercial off the shelf system. The process stages here is. This is the software that, and why this one is in trend, because it's we can reduce the time, okay, because the software is already, okay, we just adapt or adopt or modify it based on what use of our project or our system. Okay, in this integration and configurations, there is process stages. First, component analysis. Second, requirement modifications. Okay. Third, system design with reuse. Fourth, development integration. Okay, remember. Okay, if you want to understand more detail, you can explore. You can read more on the internet sources. Just to make sure that component analysis is to make sure that you understand the software that you buy. Okay, the component you use. Okay, because you need to understand it later on you need to adapt to the project or system that you want to use it, right? So understand the component. That's why component analysis. Okay, and then requirement modifications, because the software that already been developed is not purposely for your project or for your system purpose. So you need to identify the requirement. Example, we have a system for e-commerce. E-commerce is very big, right? So you need to identify the requirement. Your e-commerce system involve buyer and also seller. So what is buyer can do, what is seller can do, you need to identify the requirement and modify based on the ready-made software that you already buy. Okay, and then system design with reuse. Of course, the system is already there. You need to make it similar, not similar, what we call it, inline with the requirement, and the design is already there, right? So sometimes we need to change the design a little bit because the requirement is different. The component and requirement different, right? So you need to change a little bit. Maybe you need to change, of course, you need to change the logo of your company, right? Some of the content, you have your own content, so the design, reuse it. Okay, and then development and integrations. After you identify the component requirement, you start the design, you want to implement it, right? So implement, the development is there. So make sure the integration is suitable with your purpose. Okay, so this approach is becoming increasingly used as a component standard have emerged. Okay, because we want to save money, we want to save time. Okay, sometimes the software is quite expensive. Okay, but sometimes it's cheaper rather than you create from the scratch, and then you need to include the component one by one, and it make you more bigger, and maybe you need to rebuild again, right? So this is the very popular one lah. Okay, reuse it and adapt it and integrate with the requirement and also the component that you already have. Okay, so please go through it. All right, so done for software process model. Remember, understand it, know the pieces, and you can identify what is the advantage and disadvantage. All right, let's move on to RE, requirement engineering. Okay, Syuhada, please turn off your mic. Mana? I'm not sure why when I give lecture, you are talking to someone else. Okay, are you listening to me? No, that's make me confused lah. Okay, supposedly you are listening to me, right? Okay, thank you, Afifa, for giving me the thumbs. Okay, Shazana. All right, so let's move on to RE. Okay, requirement engineering. We have 3 lecture note, right? But actually it's same thing. Okay, so first we understand the requirement first. What is requirement? Requirement is a high level abstract statement of a service or of a system constraint to detail the mathematical function specification. Okay, this is inevitable as a requirement may serve a dual function. Okay, because of, so this is the purpose of requirement. Okay, it can be used as a bit of a contract, can be used as a basis of contract itself, okay, and detail out the content. And lastly, can be used as a both statement, which is, we call it requirement of the project lah. Okay, so easy to make you understand. Requirement describe what, not how. Okay, produce one large document written in natural language, contain a description of what the system will do without describing how it will do it. So it answer the question of what is it. Okay, so for getting a requirement, we have many types of sources. Okay, from initial requirement, you can go through from the document, meeting, interview, report, etc. Okay, for advanced, Okay, it may come from the analysis of the study to get more details on the scope and price, feasibility, the software, hardware, economical, organizational, and also social. Okay. Lastly is to give a prototype. Okay, and for the final requirement is to make sure your document is complete and stable. Okay, and of course it may go through for iteration process if needed changes and also modifications. Okay, so requirement is telling you what the system should do, more abstract, right? But the design is showing you how the system should do, which is in more details. Okay, so we have 3 level of requirement here. First one is the business level to get the business requirement, and then we have user level, we have user requirement, business rule, and quality attribute, and lastly product level, constraint, data requirement, functional requirement, non-functional requirement, external interface requirement. All these are requirement specifications. If you can see the error here, we start from the below part to fulfill or to achieve the business level, right? So requirement specifications. Okay. Okay, we have different type of requirement. We have user requirement, system requirement, functional requirement, non-functional requirement, and domain requirement. Okay, so okay, so the most important part here is understand functional requirement and also non-functional requirement. Okay, functional requirement, you know lah, function, how the system works, right? Function. But for non-functional requirement, it's also important. Okay, it's divided into 3 category here. Okay, again, 3 category. We have product requirement, organizational requirement, and external requirement. You can see the example of product, organizational, external requirement in this chart. Okay, product requirement, you can see the portability of the requirement, reliability, usability, efficiency, space, and also performance. And for organization, delivery, implementations, and also standard. For external, ethical issues, interoperability means of outside lah, outside. Okay, legislative, government, and also safety. So make sure you understand what is non-functional requirement, and we have 3 types of non-functional requirement, and you know the example for each of these requirement, right? Okay, so and then to have a good requirement, we should understand the characteristic for good requirement: unambiguous, that can be tested, clear, correct, understandable, feasible, independent, atomic, necessary, implementation. You don't have to remember it, but you know what is the characteristic of good requirement. This is just not standardized. Actually, this is just to make sure you understand. Good requirement should have all these characteristics. All right, then we go through RE phase 1. So the process of establishing what is RE? RE is a process to establish the service that customer require from the system, constraint under which the system operate, and constraint under which the system is developed. Okay, and we have 2 type of requirement. Just now I did mention, focus on what is functional and non-functional. So functional describe how the system works lah, system, service, or features. Easy to understand. Functional requirement is the features lah, and non-functional is a constraint of the system. That's why it mentioned about the constraint, the usability, the feasibility, what else? The safety, the 3 category just now. Okay, product, organization, and what another one? Remember? Jadi lastly, external. Okay, product, organization, and also external. Okay, saya repeat tu adalah maksud kan. So the terminology, make sure you just understand it. Okay, make sure you know lah some of the word, just understand it, don't remember it. Alright, again. Okay, And you know, if the requirement is not fulfilled, it will take costly. It may need you to develop again, because there is a studies reveal that 37% of the problem developing challenging system. That's why I said that if I'm giving a 1 minute to solve a problem, okay, I will use 50 minutes, okay, to understand the problem and also the user's requirement. Okay, for solution, I can identify in 10 minutes left. 10 second tadi kan, 1 minute. So more focusing on the requirement, because requirement important to start a project. Okay. What else? Okay, so general activities in the process of requirement, we have requirement elicitations, analysis, validation, and management. Okay. You know, elicitation is to getting the requirement and then analyze it and then validate the analysis and then how manage the requirement lah, how to fulfill the development, the implementation with the requirement. Okay, significant lah. Okay, so it mentioned here that RE and iterative activity, meaning that it can go back again to revisit your requirement if your requirement might not fulfill of some of the requirement, requirement and the requirement. Okay, so there is a stages, okay, for requirement engineering process. Okay, we start with discovery. You know the word discovery, discovery. After you discover, you classify and organize it. And then you organize it, which one is prioritized, and negotiate. Meaning that after you prioritize, you need to negotiate with your stakeholder. Is this we should put in the high prioritize or middle or low prioritize? That's meaning by negotiate. Negotiate with among the stakeholder and also among your team member as well, because you need to check your resources as well, right? And finally, come up with the requirement specifications. Okay. All right, so there is a lot of process, either using the waterfall or using, again, we have the 3 generic process just now, right? Waterfall, evolution, okay? So it's same thing actually. When we talk about process, same thing, goes back to the generic process, okay? For elicitations, elicitation is to dig out the requirement. So it have a several technique here by asking, observing, and other method. Okay, asking, you know, asking, interview, DEFI technique, brainstorm, think aloud. Observe is observe the task analysis. You give the product to your customer, they use it, so you observe them, right? Observe the scenario, ethnography based on the gender base, group of age, and so on. Form, you ask them to fill up the form, and then you analyze the form, the survey form. Okay, synthesize from existing system, look at the system and look at which one you can improve, something like that. Okay, other than that, you can do prototyping, role play, use case, and so on. Okay, this is elicitation technique. Next, requirement and design. Okay, in practice, requirement and design is inseparable. Okay, I stop when I hear my voice is breakdown, right? So inseparable, maksudnya tak boleh dipisahkan kan? So it come together. So it's need requirement followed by the design. Okay, so we have a few issues here. Okay, so weak problem. Okay, most large software system address weak problem which are so complex that they can be never be fully understood, and where understand evolve during the system development. Therefore, requirements are normally both incomplete and inconsistent. Okay, so this is happen when the requirement issues. Okay, so you need to identify this problem. Okay, Next issues, requirement inconsistency. This is the scenario. Large software system must improve the current situation. So it is hard to anticipate the effect. So different users have a different requirement. So system and user and organizations who pay for the system have different requirement. So prototyping is often required. The solution is this one lah. Okay. Next, issues on requirement clash. Okay, so we call it spacecraft system. Okay, to minimize weight, the number of separate chips in the system should be minimized. To minimize power consumption, lower power chip should be used. So, however, using low power chip may mean that more chip have to be used. So, which one is the most critical requirement? So, this is the meaning by the prioritize, right? So, you need to identify why requirement is important, because all these issues. Okay, and lastly is number 4, granularity. Okay, issues. Okay, so this is the technique how to write a requirement. So we have a few notations with the description. Okay, and in general, we have two types of writing requirement, non-structured and structured. So non-structured is using natural language, structured using a form, and also tabular based, table form lah. Okay. So why non-structured is not a popular one, or issues on the non-structured? Okay. So lack of clarity, requirement confusion, requirement amalgamation. Okay. So another problems relies, okay, natural language rely on the specification of specification reader and writers. Okay, for structured specification, okay, of course, okay, the word structured, okay, so it's structured means that an approach to writing requirement where freedom of the requirement writer is limited because it's already been structured. Okay, so it's not a freestyle lah. So it have their own form or standard. Okay, so this is content if there is a use structured form base. Okay, so this is example of it. A few example. Last one. Okay, last one we have why. Okay, why we should understand requirement engineering. Okay, let's go through on this process. Just now we have stages, right? This is a process. Requirement discovery, requirement classification. Oh, okay, same thing. Sorry. Stages. This is stages also, right? The one that I mentioned. That's why it's repeat. Actually, I want to delete this slide, but I forgot just now. Okay, this one is already mentioned. Okay, let's move on to use case. Okay, so you know why I highlight this one. Use case is one of the method to get a requirement. Okay, so please, you know what is the meaning of use case? A scenario-based technique in the UML which identify the actor in an interactions and which describe the interaction itself. Okay, so a set of use case should describe all possible interaction with the system, who are interact with the system and what the interaction. All right, so this is the lecture note from the lab session. Okay, lab sessions. So what I want to highlight here is you should know how to draw this use case diagram. Okay, let me make it more bigger. Okay, so remember we have 5 important elements in the use case diagram. First one is the actors. Second is the rectangle, system, boundaries. And then third is the use case, the one in the oval. And lastly, associations is the relationship. All right. So make sure you understand what is actor. Someone is which is interact with the system. So someone here not mean a human. It can be a system. It can be organization, but it's in noun. Okay. And use case is the process, the features. Okay. So it's in verb. Okay. So this is the element. Okay, the associations, the boundary system. So in associations or relation, we have 2 types, include and also extend. Okay, so include is compulsory. Extend is optional, right? So easy for you to remember. So make sure, okay, let me go through this one. Okay, you be association or relationship actor to the use case, you don't have to put the error, right? But okay, if you don't know lah, okay, but include and exclude you should understand. Include, the error should be from the basic to the one that include. Okay, extend basic, the extend to the basic. So remember the error is the important part. Why I did not explain more, because you can bring the lecture note just to highlight the important part. All right. So please make sure you understand. Please go through all the use case. Okay, this is important. Go through all example of drawing use case. You can select any system and how it will be drawn. So it's good for you to understand how to draw use case diagram. Okay, I think that's all. That's all for the test. Like, again, I repeat, you have 2 only questions. You can bring your notes. Please make sure you bring the hard copy because no electronic devices is allowed. Okay, print out your notes. Okay, so it will use for you to answer the question. Of course, it will not directly get the answer from it, but it's very useful. Please print out, especially if you don't want to print everything, the one that I put a highlight there. Okay. All right. Any question? Boleh ke nak minta slide? Sama je. Tak ada. Saya tak nak bagi ni because the other group. Okay, I don't want you to share with the other group because I see some of you get the information from the other group. Please don't share what you get a tips from me to others. I'm afraid that if you share with others, nanti dia akan komen dengan lecturer lain. Dia kata lecturer group tu bagi tips lah, apalah kan. I don't want. So that's why you need to focus. I didn't share with you, but you can watch again the recording. Kan? Boleh tengok recording balik kan nanti. So don't worry, boleh tengok recording balik. Okay, yang lain-lain ni tak ada highlight. Oh, okay. Last. Sorry. I forgot the last one. Requirement validations technique. Okay. How we do a verification and validations. Okay, you can have these requirement reviews. Okay, by systematically checking the manual analysis of the requirement. Prototyping, using the execute model of the system to check the requirement, do prototyping. Kan? And lastly, you can use test case generation, develop a test case for the requirement to check the testability of the requirement is fulfill the needs. So this use for validation and verification. Okay, other than that is all the process of the phases just now, right? The phases, and then the stages is already mentioned. This is continue the process lah just now until the evolution, right? Okay, ada soalan lain? Okay, please don't share the tips with the other group. This is for my class only. Okay, nanti kalau saya dapat komplain daripada lecturer lain susah pula kan. So I didn't give you the question right, but I give you the tip to make sure you understand. All the notes you can bring to the to the exam hall later on. Okay, but make sure print out. Okay, because electronic devices is not allowed lah. Your handphone nanti pun you kena pass to me. Saya tengok ada soalan lain tak? Okay, tak ada. Okay. Right, so hopefully you understand why I couldn't give you the slide just now. The slide is already there. Okay, just the one that I highlight. You can check the recording later on lah. Buat sendiri. Anything you can bring. Okay, anything you can bring, but must in hard copy. nota ke, buku ke, print out ke, yang pasti dia mesti kertas, hard copy lah. Devices, you bawa tablet, handphone, laptop tak boleh. Senang cerita macam tu. Apa saja yang hard copy you boleh bawa. Okay? Macam saya kata tadi kan, if you want to dig out the example tu, print out lah kan. Itu saya dah bagi tahu dah tips-tips dia. Okay, if no questions, it's already 4 o'clock. Okay, I hope the best for everyone. Okay, jangan kata saya tak payung kan, saya dah bagi habis payung dah tu pun kan. Alright, so see you on Thursday. Okay, actually I have one class with group apa tadi? Saya ada group, ada tomorrow kan? Tomorrow I have class with one group. Okay, let me ask you, do you want to have the class or you don't want to have the class? If you want to have the class, I will do the revision for the exam. If you don't want, you want to focus directly on the test, it's up to you. So I give me 5 word, want to do class tomorrow or not for group apa? Group B. Group B, boleh tak bagi saya 5 jawapan, yes or no for tomorrow class. Macam saya kata, kalau ada kelas, which is good, saya akan buat revision untuk soalan yang a little bit similar lah with the exam. Kalau tak nak kelas, nak fokus kepada test, because your test is on Thursday, dia dah cover up lah sebenarnya you punya attendance. Tapi kalau nak ada kelas pun, I don't mind. Okay, so give me 5 word, yes or no? Okay. Yes 1, no 1. Lagi? Baru 2. 1 yes, 1 no. Lagi? 1 yes. Okay, 2 yes. Lagi? Mana yang sampai dulu 5 tu? Yelah tu. Okay. So please think carefully. You want to have class or no class? Lagi? Mana kelas B? Satu, dua, tiga. Baru 3. Come on. You want to have class or not? It's up to you. I want to give you priority to choose because we already covered the attendance on the night of the exam class. So you can skip the class. Okay, but if you want me to do a revision on focusing the sample of the question, kan? So kita perlu ada kelas lah. Nak buat online, boleh juga. Okay. Tambah lagi 1. Yes, no, online. Okay, pilih. Yes, no, online. Sekarang 2 yes. Those group 577, the other group, you may leave the class. Now, thank you. Don't forget to sign in attendance. Okay, because of there is only group B to make a decision. Your class is already passed on Monday, right? So tak boleh buat apa lah kan. But use the tips that I gave you just now. Okay, see you on Thursday. Bye. So let me have a decision for group B. Yeah, no, yes, no, no. Online. Okay, mostly online. Alright. Okay, that's good. Alright. So see you tomorrow online. Kan? Nanti saya akan bagi link lah macam biasa one day before the class. Alright. Thank you everyone. See you tomorrow for group B and see everyone on Thursday night. Bye.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, madam.
Welcome. Welcome.
Thank you, Doctor.
Welcome.